This is Moneyline Mania with Chaz and the crew.
Mr. Chaz, how we feeling, bud?
Doing well, thank you very much. I know, Jonathan, you just got back from signing up for the contest in Vegas, the big contest, right?
Yeah, I did. We went to Vegas on Tuesday, and we signed up Wednesday morning at the Golden Gate, which is a sister casino of Circa. It's my second year doing it. I'm really taking it seriously this year. I signed up last year. My first year is my bachelor party, but I signed up the week one, like right after Thursday night. I went Friday, signed up, and on that week one, you have to put in your own place. And so the next day I go to the kiosk. It's not working. I call the guy and he's like, yeah, because the cutoff was 3 minutes ago. So I missed all of week one last year. It kind of puts a real damper. I just spent $1,000 to not get a play up. But I'm back this year. You know, we're doing it the whole way. All my proxies signed up and Circa Millions 4. I think there's going to be a few more people this year as well because last year was coming off that COVID. So not as many people were kind of traveling to Vegas. You have to travel to Vegas and sign up in person. So last year, I think there was about 3,500 people. I think this year they might crack 4,500 and maybe get to 5,000. So they upped the pool. I think it's going to be about $5 million in guaranteed money. It's a good contest. They run a top-notch casino there. So I'm back in it, and we were in Vegas for 3 days and had a little relaxation as well.
It's a big deal. The Super Contest used to be over at the Westgate, and then they built Circa, and he upped them one with the Circa Millions, and they do quite a few entries, and it's pretty exciting. And you pick 5 every week. Got to pick your 5 best NFL plays, and at the end of the year, somebody walks around with 7 figures.
It's $1 million top prize, but I know that they kind of wait to see how many people enter. Last year, I think it was top 85 or something that got paid. This year, it's probably going to be closer to 200 to at least get your money back or make a little bit of profit. The cool thing is they also do have the worst record, and of course, you can't just pick 3 weeks and stop picking. You have to pick all your games every week, and the worst record also gets a $100,000 payout. And then they do a quarterlies, and the quarterlies are so week 1 through 4, whoever's number 1 in that little segment gets 250. Week 5 they do the same thing to week 8, so they have 4 of those throughout the year. So you have a chance, even if you're not doing well through the contest, like you could get hot at the right time. Let's say week 13, 18, they do that 5 weeks at the end, and you just run hot. You can make 250,000 and still not cash in the whole contest, just depending on if you get hot at the right time. They offer just so many different ways to kind of make your money or make some money.
We had one year, we entered a couple of them. One of them was the college one. And guys, I'm not kidding you. After like 3 weeks, if we had just bet or give the opposite team of the teams we bet, we would have been in first place. At least we put our entries in. Yeah, when you get shut out the first week in a 17-week contest, that's a 8% or whatever of the entire, 7% or whatever it is of the entire year. It's an uphill battle from there. But good luck, and we'll be talking throughout the season.
Yes, sir. Are you entering?
No, the contest, I gave him about $2,000, maybe $2,500. I realized I'm just not a contest guy. I bet quarters, I bet team totals. To put that emphasis and then get frustrated. And both Wes last year and John were in the contest. So we talked about it every single week on Sports Betting Weekly right here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. John had a good start. He was kicking butt. And then all it takes is that 1-4 week. And it seems like the guys that win it, they have that year. And we all had years like that, guys, where whatever you touch is right. Some years it's not like that. But if you're going to have a year to be like that, it's the year you enter the contest. That's for damn sure.
And hopefully you win. I'm all about people making money. I'm just not one of those guys that will put all my marbles into one pile of you-know-what and put myself at risk to lose it all.
It's a lot of money. It's 4 digits. It's always fun, too, because it's always the summertime. You've got to go there to put your bets in, and that's when the pools are hopping in Vegas, and it's 1,000 degrees out, but the pools are hopping, the clubs are hopping, so it's a fun time, and you kind of write it off if you do lose because you had a good time getting your ticket in.
I know you're a club guy, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine you dancing in a club.
The old days.
Disco King. I'm going to call you.
The old days.
You're the Disco King. I would love to see you in a club, going out with your wife, doing some disco dances with the Bee Gees. I could see that.
The 70s were a good time.
I wasn't alive for the 70s, unfortunately.
They were a good time. I may be paying a little bit more interest on that good time than I thought I would be, but it is what it is. You got to pay the Piper if you're going to dance, right?
Oh, absolutely. I'm a dancer. I know all about it, and I do entertainment all the time. I like to entertain. Be careful. I might be dancing on this table before you know it. But anyways, we've got work to do, boys. Are you guys ready?
Yeah, you know what? Jonathan has been really on a tear with the MLB this year. And I don't know if you saw it, Jonathan, on social media, but there was some guy talking about, don't tell me your record, tell me what you've won. And Jonathan, at one point with his props, I think he was hitting 50%. So he lost as many as he won, but he was up like 30 units. And if you're betting $100, that's $3K.
Props have been good. I kind of found a little home run niche. Just kind of seen matchups. You only have to hit 1 every 5 home run props, and you'll make some money. I hit a plus 1,000, plus 700 on Austin Hayes against the Nationals. Finding the right niches, and then I think I went on like a 10-1 K prop. Those are typically a little bit more. Sometimes they can be a little bit juicier, but K props have been nice as well. Just all around in the MLB this year. I'm over at Vegas Insider. I am the number 1 capper. I'm up 35.13 units just on 1 unit plays per game. And I've just been seeing the ball really well, taking some shots with the underdogs. We took a shot a couple days ago with the Rockies at plus 270. That didn't pan out for us, but it wasn't something that I was really sweating, just because now that I'm up, I can play around a little bit. I have a little bit more money to kind of take more chances. Just because I have been doing so well, I can kind of get exotic with my plays.
We talk about it all the time in terms of underdogs, especially with Hector in soccer, because when you bet dogs, you could lose 2 out of 3 and win. If you catch Kershaw and bet against him on the night that he loses 3-2, and you get 270 for your 100, and you lose the other 2 games, $100 each, you're up $70 for the day.
Or all these Jacob deGrom starts that the Mets don't score for him.
That's exactly why I gave you that score.
That game was a weird one because he just lost against the Nationals 4-1, deGrom. This one I did not have the courage to take in. That was the game right after the Padres made that trade. So that was the first game without Soto, without Bell, and then that was deGrom's first start back, which so you should have already known he was going to be on a pitch count. He wasn't going to go deep. The bullpen kind of blew it there, but for whatever reason, deGrom does have a history. I think if you were to bet on every single game that deGrom has started, he has like a 1.99 career ERA in the last like 5 years. But if you bet $100 on every game that he started, you're down by 20 units.
When he pitched for the Mets, he was 500, but the bottom line is he ain't 500 in the first 5 innings, and how do I know that? Because I bet him in the first 5 innings. If you go with him in the under and you split, if they lose, if they don't score for him, like you said, Petey, he only gives up 1 or 2 runs, but he's playing Sunday. He's pitching Sunday, and he's one of the games that I have on here. I've got 2 baseball games for Sunday and a Canadian football game for later this evening.
I like the sound of that. You guys are very good at your Canadian football picks. Wes is over 80% of CFL picks every single year.
We had a couple weeks where things that you didn't see happened, but as Jonathan said, sometimes you see the ball better than other days. When's your baby due?
We're looking at October 20th is the due date. Baby's growing a little bit faster than normal, so they said it's looking about 2 weeks. Before that, we're kind of in the wait and see. She just hit 29 weeks, and so we're excited. I bought all the crap, the crib, and nobody tells you how expensive a baby is, but we're prepared. We have everything we need.
It's only going to last another 20 or 30 years. Yeah. Don't worry about it.
It'll be an adventure, but we're excited. So October 20th, official due date.
Wes had his son last week, and hopefully we'll be hearing
Congratulations
from
him.
Congratulations
to Wes,
yeah. We congratulate you guys, but we know your wives are doing most of the work.
Yeah.
Trust me, she lets me know about that too.
Yeah.
So, I got a couple games for Sunday that I'm looking at. First off, I just want to say I think the Padres, that's what you want to see out of a team that just is, we're going to win it and we're trying to win. They really went out and got guys. They got guys. Soto, in my opinion, not going to be a popular comment. I think he's overrated. He bats 240. I know he has the ability to pop. I understand what he brings to the table. He did win the MVP in the World Series when he was just 19 years old. I just don't know. He's not having a great year, and you just don't see a guy that makes an all-star team and then gets traded that same year. It's never happened for anybody 25 and under, and he did it this year. He really wanted out of Washington. I think the Padres were really smart in grabbing Bell as well. He's batting 300. He's having a great year. And then under the table, they got Brandon Drury. I was actually like, hey, when did that happen? It kind of like snuck in. And then we see that they're playing the Dodgers this weekend. Pretty much been underdog the entire time. And I understand it because, the Dodgers have this lineup that's just strong. They can hit a lot of people. Pitching's really good, but Friday night, Gonsolin pitch, and Sunday's going to be Tyler Anderson. But I think those are a couple of the guys that I'm going to look to kind of start fading, picking your spot to fade. I think they overperformed in the first half of the year. So those are going to be guys that I'm going to look to kind of see what spots I can find. I think the Padres are going to be live anytime this year. And if you can get them at anything close to plus, if they're plus money, I think they're automatic trail. If they're anywhere minus 130 or lower, I think it's an automatic bet. So I'm going to be looking to take a lot of Padres coming up the rest of this year. They're going to be a really good, I think they could win the World Series. And I did place a little future on them in Vegas. I got plus 1350. They're really going to be live at any time this year.
The town is definitely buzzing, and it'll be interesting to see what happens. If they go up and get swept in L.A., the town will be buzzing the other direction. But it's a situation where you have to pick and choose. You can't maintain. You look at the Yankees, what they're doing is really kind of unheard of. You really can't maintain that whole push, the whole 162 games. You're going to find swoons. I'll never forget the one year I was actually in Vegas to sign up for the Super Contest. There was a young kid, and the Dodgers had just lost back-to-back games at like minus 340 or something like that. And we're sitting at the bar. It's quiet because it's early in the morning. And he says, oh, you know what? I'm betting the Dodgers because they can't lose 3 in a row. And they ended up losing like 5 in a row. And that's the kind of thing where if you let that money ride, you could take $100 and turn it into $5,000 in a week.
I think the Dodgers right now, at least, are always going to be priced super heavily. I found it surprising that minus 160 on Friday night. I get who they have, but I think other teams are going to get really undervalued when they play the Dodgers. And at your own risk, you can't just pay the Dodgers every game because you'll lose a lot of money. But there's definitely going to be some spots this season. A couple teams, I think the Milwaukee Brewers, that might be a team to kind of start looking at. I found their trade deadline really weird. They traded away their all-star closer. They're number 1 in their division. And I don't think they got anything in return for that. So they might be a team, we can start fading, but they also still have a lot of good guys in their bullpen still. But I think that might be a team to start fading, and we just saw them get swept by the Pirates. And there's a couple other teams that I think you're always going to get value. Sunday, look at the Orioles. Shout out to Baltimore. That is my team, and I'm excited. I'm going to look at them a lot. I think initially I was really upset when we traded Trey Mancini. I believe in Mike Elias and Sig. These guys are proven winners. Sig went to the Cardinals in 2005 as their primary statistician. Elias came there in 2011. They win a World Series. They both head to Houston in 2012, and Elias says, I'm bringing my guy Sig. They go, they win a World Series, make a couple of appearances, and now they come to Baltimore and they're making moves. The Cardinals, from the time that Sig was there in 05 to 2012, not one team had more than half of the MLB players that he drafted that made it to the big leagues. It was just incredible what he runs there and how he runs that program. And the Orioles traded away a closer, traded away Trey Mancini, and they're still finding a way to kind of win games. And they're always valued, especially in the coming weeks. We're going to play a lot of the Yankees, a lot of Red Sox, a lot of Rays and Blue Jays. And they're just going to be a team that, again, pick your spots because they're going to be big dogs in these games for a reason. The Yankees can hit 10 home runs in a row and the Blue Jays can mash, and we understand that. Pick your spots, but you're going to find a lot of good spots with them at plus 140, plus 160, plus 130. And if you just win, go 1-1, you're up money. So I'm going to look at the Orioles on Sunday as well. I think that minus 145-ish, minus 150 is not too bad of a price. So
I think a lot of people are worried about the Yankees, obviously losing King. Their bullpen hasn't been as good as it was in the first half. We expected this to happen. They weren't going to win every single game. They were the hottest team in baseball. I do believe they'll go on another streak where they'll win 9 out of 10 or something like that. But right now they're not hitting, and they're having problems in the middle of their lineup. Giancarlo Stanton is on his way back, and when he gets back into the lineup, I think they'll give Judge a little bit more protection, and I think we're going to see this offense really start to spurt again. But where the Yankees are, a lot of people are worried about them.
Yankee fans are very frugal fans. It's what are you doing for me now? You're still a double-digit lead in first place in the AL East. Your offense is going to get back. Everybody goes through kind of highs and lows. When you get Giancarlo Stanton back, you're going to start hitting. Playoffs are definitely fine. I think where you're going to get into trouble is maybe that bullpen. You lost a couple arms for the year. In the playoffs, that's when it really matters. Is your offense going to be strong?
But they also added some arms, too. And Savarino will be back in the playoffs. They're going to move Savarino to the bullpen. Losing King is a significant loss. One of the best players in their bullpen all season long. And losing him for a significant injury for his elbow.
It was one pitch, and he was like, I need somebody to look at it, and then he was out. I also saw Chapman. He pitched in the 7th inning game. They kind of moved him out of the back-end role, but if he can find that fastball and location again, like I saw him pitch 9-pitch, 6 innings, and then he was out. He's still that guy that he's got the power. He can hit his spots. He can still kind of get in there and shut some teams down. Like, I'm not worried about the Yankees. I wish them the worst. I hope they don't win a lot of games. At the end of the day, like, they've been a good moneymaker for me this season.